Hello, everyone. I'm Jessica with Black Travelers Network, where we provide trips that focus on the Black experience in different parts of the world, and we cover news stories that impact the African diaspora. Before I get into today's story, I always have to do a quick plug and encourage those of you who are traveling to make sure you invest and use some travel insurance. In the description box, you will find our affiliate link to one of the more popular travel insurance providers. Now, with that being said, today's story comes to us from the New York Times, and this is actually breaking news right now. So for those of you who haven't heard, Notre Dame, which is a very famous landmark in Paris, it has gone up in flames, and they really don't know why or what caused the fire. But here's a brief history on Notre Dame as brought to us by the New York Times. The Cathedral of Notre Dame, where a large fire broke out on Monday evening, is among the most famous landmarks in Paris, drawing about 13 million visitors a year. The cathedral, whose name means Our Lady, is the seat of the Archbishop of Paris. The cathedral was built on a small island called Ile de la Cité in the middle of the Seine. Construction began in 1163 during the reign of King Louis VII and was completed in 1345. It is considered a jewel of medieval Gothic architecture. It was damaged and neglected in the 1790s during the French Revolution. Victor Hugo's 1831 novel, Notre Dame of Paris, published in English as The Hunchback of Notre Dame, informed readers about the building's decrepit condition. The book helped spur overhauls from 1844 to 1864, when the architects Jean-Baptiste Tonton-Lassault and Eugène Emmanuel Joly-le-Duc redid the spire and flying buttresses. What historical events took place here? Quite a bit that's related to French history. Henry VI of England was made King of France inside Notre Dame in 1431. Napoleon Bonaparte, who also sought to save the storied cathedral, was crowned emperor there in 1804. In 1909, Joan of Arc, who helped France battle the English and was burned at the stakes centuries earlier, was beatified in the cathedral by Pope Pius X. So what was actually happening when the fire broke out? Well, the cathedral, where Mass is still offered on Sundays, is currently undergoing extensive renovation. In 2017, the New York Times wrote that the cathedral was in dire need of a makeover. Weather and time had taken a toll on the building. Broken gargoyles were replaced by plastic. Limestone crumbled at the touch. The renovation was expected to cost nearly $180 million. This is a really sad story because this is a part or a piece of history that's literally gone up in smokes. And this is a significant place to people all around the world because lots of people travel to Paris. A lot of Black travelers travel to Paris or want to travel to Paris. And it's like you go to Paris, you see the Eiffel Tower, you visit the Louvre, and you stop by Notre Dame. It's just a part of what you see when you go to Paris. And so to see this building, this structure go up in smokes like that is really devastating because there are a lot of people who've never been to Paris who will never see it as close to its sort of like original structure. I have to say, like, I went to Paris many years ago, and it's was such a beautiful building. Just looking at it, it has a lot of history. I mean, the building itself, the structure itself is like 800 years old. And it's, like I said, it's of significant meaning to people around the world, especially those folks who are Catholics. As the article said, they still have service there on Sundays. And even in visiting, I can't remember if I visited on a Sunday, but there were definitely churchgoers in the cathedral. Regardless of your religion, it was architecturally beautiful, and definitely a sign of a certain particular era, medieval times. It's one of those structures that a lot of people in the world hold near and dear to them. Definitely folks of European descent really are just heartbroken by this, and I can totally understand. It's just a shame to see it go up in smokes like this. I don't know what to say. It's something we'll follow. It'll be interesting to see what they determine is the cause of the fire. It may be connected to the renovations that were going on. That's kind of what the article is alluding to. But at the end of the day, it's burning, and they can't determine the cause of the fire. And when I tell you, it looks like they don't have real control of this fire. The fire has been burning for I think they said something like 3 hours. So it's just, yeah, it's devastating. It can also be symbolic in a lot of ways too. So I talk to a lot of people who say, oh, I'll go to that place next year. I'll go for a visit next year. And that's the thing, like, people put things off so much and so often, and you never know. Anything can happen, especially for those of you who want to see some of these famous landmarks. I have a couple famous landmarks that are on my list that I gotta make happen soon, because anything can happen, and that piece of history, you will not have had the opportunity to experience it. So for those of you who wait and delay your travels, let this be a lesson that if there's something that's on you, that's near and dear to your heart, a place that you just have to see and have to visit, don't put it off. Thank you guys for listening. We'll keep you guys updated on this story, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button.